Okay, so I come across videos while perusing through YouTube speaking about this and that, and a lot of them are about transgender related subjects. I spend a lot of time on reviewing other people's videos, listening to what they have to say, and kind of just gaining support and stuff. Anyways, somebody was online and they were saying how they were trying to religiously tie in facts in the Bible or just their feelings, Bible verses and stuff like this, trying to say you can resist these transgender feelings, how to resist them. And I don't like hearing those kind of videos because, as you know, most of us transgender women have tried to resist this our entire life. There's no resisting who you are. Anyways, this was my message to them via YouTube on their personal, channel, and this is what I sent. You should watch my video labeled "Is Being Transgender Evil?" I strongly disagree with you and what you say in your videos. I also strongly believe you're misleading people with rhetoric that is not accurate at all. Since when has a birth defect become a thing of evil, or something that is bad, or something that is a sin? When a child is born with both male and female genitalia, is this also evil? What gender are they? Except the gender, of course, they feel they are internally or spiritually. A transgender person's development in embryo is different from someone who is born cisgender. Can you blame that person for having a male body and a female brain and them acting accordingly? They did not ask for this. Spiritually, they feel 100% internally female. And you would have them live in a male's body, or, better described in the transgender populace, a male prison for the entirety of their lives? You would subject someone to this kind of cruel and unusual punishment when this was not from a decision they made, but rather from a chemical-induced change in embryo during development in the womb? That sounds unfair. You do not ever mention any of the natural deviations in development in your videos, which is characteristic to intersex babies and trans individuals. My question to you is why? Are you purposefully ignoring this because it can't easily fit into your argument? Anyways, nature has no existing morals in relation to how a fetus develops in embryo. Errors occur in biology, and because I do not like to label someone who is transgender as myself as being an error, it is better described, as I like to say, as a complex biological variation shift via development in the mother's womb. If you are imagining a world that exists only with two variations possible for gender, then you are sadly mistaken. There is man, then there is woman, and then a whole spectrum of gender variances right stuck in between. To shed more light on the possibilities of variances, you can see them occur in people's sexuality as well. These are two separate issues, but you can see them on both ends. People being born only desiring the opposite sex, heterosexual. People who are born with the attraction for man and woman, bisexual. People with attraction towards the same gender, homosexual. People born with attractions for every gender variation out there, pansexual. And then we have people who are born with sexual desires for absolutely no gender, nobody, no how. This is called asexual. You cannot change what you're attracted to naturally. If this is truly your stance, that sexual proclivities can be changed or shifted, then it's a very peculiar one. I know of no psychologist that would share your stance according to present understanding of the human psyche. So then, you really think that if you tried hard enough or conditioned yourself enough, whichever way it is that you believe, that you could effectively become attracted to, let's say, a dog? Or how about a dead body, an instance of necrophilia? Could you make yourself become attracted to a tree? You may think these conditions that I'm naming don't exist, and that I'm just being silly. But they do exist, and I'm not being silly. I'm being pretty straightforward. Each of us are born with unique and very different wiring in regards to gender, as well as sexuality, which, by the way, are two separate issues, as I will state again. Here is a suggestion. But I also want to state that although they are separate, they are related issues. Now back onto the subject. If you can effectively and in a healthy manner make your own sexual attraction towards women change, and I'm assuming that this is what you are attracted to, or go away permanently, then post a video on YouTube discussing how you were able to manage this very daunting task. This would be more helpful to your viewing audience, considering that you are asking people to do the same. You're asking them to do that, but on the other side of the spectrum, with changing their body, or sorry, their transgender feelings. This will also be a breakthrough in the psychological world, as this has not yet been effectively produced by any clinical case studies. You are asking them to change their natural proclivities to something that is unnatural to their psyche and to their sense of self. Sorry, sense of self. I am so bad at reading things, look at me. I think you are dangerously ignoring many facts with your videos, and this is going to be fact one. Many of the transsexual and transgender people that I have had the privilege to come in contact with and have spoken to have clearly indicated how they have fought, much like myself, off these feelings of being the opposite gender for the majority of their lives. They worked diligently on subduing, suppressing, but to no avail. They explored the theological side of thought on this matter and did so with the thoroughness of someone desperately seeking inward peace on the matter, which, by the way, is all that you are telling them to do once again, as if they have not tried it. You are offering nothing of substance to alleviate the stressful situation they currently live in down on the front lines, day to day. Instead, you offer up empty religious rhetoric as a promising solution, and it is not. Fact 2. Transgender suicide rates pre-operation and transition is through the roof at a whopping roof at a whopping 30%. After transition, the suicide rates drastically drop to an all-time low of 7%. Numbers don't lie. Transition is necessary for the survival of trans individuals. Simply put, I hope that this message helped you to see the other side of the argument, although I do have little hope in this. By the way, one final point. The Jesus Christ I read of in the Bible never spoke of transsexual or transgender and its condition. How can you offer or factor in sin with changing one's body for better mental health when God never once mentioned this condition through the entirety of the Bible? If he has mentioned this to your knowledge, please offer up the needed scriptures in your videos to support your religious stance on the subject. If you cannot produce such scriptures, then please cease to burden those who are already heavily laden with ideas that this can be changed with sheer will and faith and scripture, and that this is a sin and deplorable in God's eyes. Because being transgender is not deplorable in God's eyes. You doing this is not helpful, and it can potentially hurt those trying to come to terms with who they truly are. Thank you for reading this, and hopefully for trying to understand those who have been actively fighting the war of gender day to day. Make no mistake, our soldiers are in need of reinforcements and a little R&R from this kind of rhetoric and from so much more. Thank you. Sincerely, Hopeful Kylie. Okay, so that was it. That was my letter. And sometimes I think these messages I send get through to people and help. You know, some see our side of it, and other times I don't think it helps very much. But I just figured I'd let you girls out there see, and you trans guys see, I'm fighting for us like you are. Like, I'm out there cheering us on, you know, supporting us, and, you know, fighting that fight. Thanks for watching my video.